The future of Donald Trump's family business could be decided on Friday when a New York judge is expected to rule in his civil fraud trial. The former president, his grown sons, and his eponymous company have already pleaded guilty to inflated property values in statements to lenders. Prosecutors have asked a judge to fine Trump $370 million, £291 million, and limit his ability to do business in the state. That's a lot of money, even for a billionaire. Legal experts told the BBC that such a large sentence, coupled with a possible final judgment that could have a major impact on his property empire, could deal a major blow to Trump's finances. He doesn't suddenly become a working class, said former federal prosecutor Diana Florence. But it just comes with a lot of money. His fortune will greatly decrease. Why could Trump be fined $370 million? New York Attorney General Letitia James told the court that $370 million was an appropriate amount to pay the Trumps for robbery, a financial penalty that includes restitution of ill-gotten gains. He calculated the sum based on 3 factors: the money Trump allegedly earned from saving interest on loans because his assets were misrepresented, bonuses paid Trump Organization employees involved in the scheme, and profits from 2 real estate transactions that Ms. James claims were obtained fraudulently. Judge Arthur Engeron is tasked with deciding the fines when he makes his decision. Regardless of the amount, Trump would also have to pay annual interest on that fine going back several years to the alleged crimes. New York's 9% rate means Trump will have to pay a 9-figure sum in addition to the fine. Mr. Trump denies committing fraud and says there was no crime because the banks made money from his investments. He is expected to appeal, which would delay sentencing until a higher court hears the case. But if he wants to avoid paying a fine or confiscation of personal property during the appeal process, he still has to deposit the entire amount with the court within 30 days. A punitive amount, but not ruinous according to one calculation by Forbes magazine. Trump's total net worth is $2.6 billion. The New York Attorney General estimates his annual net worth at $2 billion in 2021. Based on these estimates, the $370 million fine would cost Trump about 15 to 18% of his assets. In addition to this looming penalty, however, he already owes author E. Jean Carroll $83.3 million in damages in a separate defamation suit that ended in January. His legal fees are also mounting as he fights 4 felony charges at the federal and state levels. These combined financial burdens could add up to more money than Trump has. Legal experts say he has several possible options. Trump can secure a bond, but it will cost him to avoid paying everything up front. Mr. Trump can try to secure a bond, a guarantee from third parties that he can pay the entire fine. It would cost him many more millions with interest and fees. He should probably post bail as well. To secure the loan company's bond, a person usually has to pay about 10% of the total amount owed, explained Stephen Cohen of the New York School of Law. So if Trump owed $370 million, he could pay a bond company $37 million, £29 million, to issue the bond. And he will not get this payment back. Trump could sell assets to raise enough money in this case. Mr. Trump said he has $400 million in cash. The BBC could not independently verify this amount. But combined with his other legal obligations and fees, that would not be enough to cover the new $370 million fine. He must think about what to do with his money, how to possibly liquidate companies to get this money, said former federal prosecutor Sarah Kristoff. Much of Mr. Trump's wealth is tied to his real estate holdings. Forbes has put his New York property empire at $490 million, £384 million, including his flagship apartment in skyscraper Trump Tower, which is worth $56 million, £44 million. His portfolio includes many other properties across the country, golf courses, apartment towers, hotels, and even a winery. Something must be sold or liquidated to raise money to cover such expense, said William Thomas, a professor at the University of Michigan's Ross School of Business. Trump can ask for money from his loyal supporters. Trump can also turn to a massive fundraising machine to pay his tens of millions in court costs. According to the New York Times, 10% of every dollar raised by his supporters goes to his defense in his civil and criminal trials. He used 2 political action committees, Save America, which was his main vehicle for paying legal fees, and Make America Great Again, which financed his presidential bid, to raise money to cover the costs of these lawsuits, although the structures are typically used for political purposes. These communities are separate from his official presidential campaign account. From the first indictment in March 2023 to the end of 2023,